Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Life in the Philippines. We have officially entered our dry season a couple of weeks ago, and that doesn't mean it doesn't rain, just means that it rains less. And here in Cebu City area, rain usually lasts 20, 30 minutes or so, and then it stops for most of the day. It may rain again later. And my over 5 years here, I've noticed that some years it will rain in the daytime, in the morning, in the evening, and it varies by the year. We've gone through a couple drought years. This past year has been a wetter year with La Nina, uh, warmer seas out in the Pacific near the Philippines. Anyway, going to point out a few things and have comments about a few things here about living in the Philippines. One is the traffic. I'm going to sit here and you'll notice that there is a light at this corner, one of few lights, but very few people actually stop. They merge into traffic. So expect that. If you're driving or riding any vehicle, expect people to pull right out in front of you, even if you're almost right up to that driveway, that intersection. It's very usual for people to continue to go through a red light number of vehicles. So don't expect just because you have a green light that the coast is clear. Anyway, I am walking from, this is a lot of people call it Mango Avenue. Nuat Thai, that is a massage place. I think they're open again. They're a chain of places, a couple of big chains, and a lot of independent massage parlors around. In March of 2020, the Philippines pretty much locked down their whole economy, shut down all the public transportation, and that went on for many, many, many months. In the past 6 months or so, I don't remember exactly, they've started allowing, many people were walking to work. If they had work, most people did not have work, they lost their jobs. But certain call centers, certain grocery stores, of course, some of the industries that were essential. It's amazing, like even in the U.S., like a Walmart, a Target, Home Depot is essential, but all these smaller stores that sell the same thing were forced to close in the U.S. and around the world. I think much the same case in Canada, Australia, much of Europe as well. There was a lot of prejudice in who they allowed to remain open. But anyway, the point is a lot of people bought bicycles, and what you see here where the vehicle, that solid white line, that is supposed to be a bike lane. In reality, here people are waiting to get into a bank, limited number that can go in. There are more and more people out asking for money, begging for money, because of so many more people are homeless, out of work still. Anyway, this solid line, they've taken 2 lanes and they've turned most of 1 lane into a bicycle lane. In reality, you've got traffic often backed up, even though it's less traffic than when the economy was up and running, full steam. Other vehicles, and even there was an article in the paper the other day asking bicycle riders to understand that jeepneys and buses need to use that lane to pick up people and drop people off, especially during rush hours. I am walking to Ayala Mall. My purpose today is to get some cash from an ATM machine and to pay my rent. This is a cash society, and almost always I've paid my rent in cash. And what I do, I go to the bank of my landlord, the agent of my landlord actually. My landlord, Filipino, I think, lives in Saudi Arabia, perhaps someplace in the Middle East. And the agent takes care of all the legal stuff, taking out. And anyway, Jollibee almost on every corner. Not really. They are expanding to the US as well as into Europe. So if you miss Jollibee, similar to a McDonald's, a little different taste, a little bit different menu. The fast food chains here tend to sell everything from hot dogs to chicken to spaghetti is a big favorite, as well as burgers and rice, of course. You can get rice anywhere and everywhere. And at some point in time, I have to cross the road, so they have there's kind of a lack of traffic lights, but there is one further up there, but they have these crosswalks painted different places that in theory pedestrians have some right of way, I guess. I'm not sure what the exact rules and laws. People try not to run over you. Most people try not to run over you, and even give way if you get out there. In fact, going across here, you have to be careful when you step out into another lane, of course. But a lot of people will actually slow down, stop, wave you, go on, and that's what happened here. I have been stuck out here in the middle of a road, busy roads, a couple times, but eventually somebody, they slow down, they wave you across. Very nice. And anyway, a taxi ride from where I live over to Ayala is usually about 70 pesos, about $1.40 US. Not bad, but walking is very healthy, and it's important to try to do that as often as you can, daily preferably, and get out. The fresh air is healthy. So anyway, that's what I decided to do. It wasn't a bad day. The rain had stopped, and even you can see it's even dried up off of the street out there. Lots of people walking. There again, partly because the lack of public transportation. Still, they do have a number of buses running now, but usually not enough during the busy seasons. A few hobbles, motorbike taxis. They got a few jeepneys, but not very many yet. We're going to step inside of Ayala Mall. I'm going to show you the bank situation there that I encountered. I had to go find a different bank. That bank was closed for a few days, and I had to go to one a couple blocks away, and apparently many other people did too, because there was a long waiting line. It took me about an hour and a half of waiting outside, getting in, and then waiting inside in order to take care of my business, depositing my rent money. Anyway, this is a corner I'm going to turn at. This is a coffee shop. Used to be a coffee shop. Some of you have probably been there. Josh and Matthew. Looks like it is one of the thousands of businesses that are now permanently out of business because of the past year lockdowns and more lockdowns. And anyway, up ahead of us there, that is part of the Cebu Business District. The high towers there, condominiums, primarily, all of those Solinea. And looks like here's another business boarded up. I see more and more signs each month, each week, space for lease. And here, coming up to a medical clinic up here. Going to talk to a couple of girls waiting for a COVID test, I think. Is everybody waiting for COVID test?
COVID test?
Is that what everybody's waiting for?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know.
Okay. You have to get one for work? Do you have to get a test for working?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very good. Good luck. I talked to a Filipino a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me the company he worked for, quite a few, number of, I think, 100, 200 employees. And he said there was a certain percentage of them tested positive, were sent home or to quarantine centers. And 14, 15 days later, retested, tested positive again. And 30 days later, tested and tested positive again. Enough employees complained, so that management changed testing companies, and everybody tested negative. So from the beginning, it's good to question. From the beginning, I've wondered about the accuracy of tests, and there's information online, lots of information online about the different types of tests, whether they are what the false positive rates are and that type of thing. Even it's been stated by CDC and the New York Times that some in the USA, because of the number of cycles that they use, even up to 90% false negatives. So take all those figures with a grain of salt, I guess. It just depends upon where you are and what labs are doing the testing, how many cycles are using. Anyway, that is Ayala Mall over there. Ruston's big grocery store, department store, and Amazon center here. They don't have a warehouse here. They're just a call center, corporate headquarters, something like that. And Park Point condominium there. I've done videos in there. Hello. And I'm going to take a right here. I'm going to go down to HSBC Bank, because they don't charge me a fee to use the ATM, and whereas most banks only allow me 10,000 peso withdrawal, about $200, BPI allows me 15,000, I believe, about $300. These people allow me 40,000 peso withdrawal. They don't charge me, although my bank back in the US charges me. And anyway, we are inside of Ayala Mall here. I'm going down to pay my rent at BPI down here, and these people are lined up outside BDO Bank, and there's always a line. I think a lot of employees use that bank. They got a BPI, Bank of the Philippines, I believe, right here, and that's where I usually go to deposit my rent money. Go in there, you get a note, but anyway, they are closed until April 2021. So they give me the location of, and this is the other bank I had to go to. And long list of people. Like I said, it took me about an hour and a half. And then I came back to Ayala, and one other thing I wanted to do was get a cup of coffee at Bo's Coffee. It's a Philippine coffee shop chain, and I like to give Filipino companies my business whenever possible. And there was some type of event going on over here, so I went over here and took a little bit of video. It's the 500th year anniversary of Christianity coming to the Philippines, and this year, especially the next week or two, there are many different events, and this was a rehearsal for an event going on later that night, I think, and a few days earlier they had the event too. A couple of my friends happened to be there, having coffee as well, and I sat and chatted with them. They'd been over here in the evening and watched the presentation. So very nice, interesting presentation. I've got a little bit more to show you here. My only complaint is it's so loud. Now here I've turned the volume way down on this. It was actually painful to my ears to listen to this. One thing you'll find in the Philippines, they turn the volume up much louder than what is healthy, in my opinion. I'll let you listen in for a bit. Anyway, thank you for watching, coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you next time. I'll let you listen to this for a minute or two.